All right, I'll open with prayer. Father Sky, Mother Earth, all our ancestors, all our relatives, we call to you at this time and we ask that you join this most sacred circle. Help us to feel your presence. Help us to feel you fill our hearts, our souls, and our minds with your spirit, your love, and your divinity. We ask you guide us in a good way. Help us to learn from these lessons. Help us to learn from our sister Shahawin and help us to apply this learned knowledge to our life so we may walk in a way that is more in alignment with our highest version of self. We love you. We thank you. Aho.
sen sen sa ta wa pa ta pu sho ne ge bei ei pu sho ha za do wei a hey ha wei yo wei hey yo no ka be ka ge pu sho ha za pu sho ha za do wei oh wei wei ya oh wei yo wei ya hey ya so de sen sen sa ta wa pa ta pu sho ne ge bei pu sho ha za do wei a hey ha wei yo wei hey yo so they say sa ta wa pa ta pu sho ne ge bei pu sho ha sa do wei a hey ha wei yo hey yo no ka be ka ge pu sho ha sa pu sho ha sa do wei oh wei da oh wei oh so they say sa wa pa da pu sho ne ge bei pu sho ha sa do wei a hey ha wei yo hey yo
In today's video, we embark on a journey into the realm of spiritual giftedness, exploring deep layers of consciousness that connect us with the spiritual realm's vibrant energy. This journey is more than an exploration. It's an awakening to a life imbued with profound insights and transformative experiences. Inspired by the pioneering work of Dolores Cannon in the realm of spiritual exploration, we will explore the unique vibrational frequencies that each of us carries, an energetic signature that shapes our interactions with the world and our inner selves. Cannon's teachings reveal that this frequency is dynamic, evolving with our thoughts, emotions, and spiritual awakenings. By tuning into these higher vibrations, we come into alignment with our true essence and the interconnected energies.
Okay.
Alignment with our true essence and the interconnected energies of the universe. As we embrace the wisdom of Dolores Cannon and recognize
I think maybe they want you to talk today, Shahawin.
Oh, I guess, but
I thought it was my connection.
that was
Got
going
it.
bad.
Cable. This is not even wireless. This is wired directly in, and it never does this other than when we're in class trying to watch these videos.
That's just too funny. Well, I would really like y'all to watch this video. So if y'all can write the name of it down and pull it up, later on at your house by yourself and listen to it. Can you give them the name of it, Rodney?
Yeah, I'll send it through email.
Okay. Because, we're all in tune to this new energy that we carry, that we've always carried. It's a gift from the Creator. But we haven't been aware of that, or how this energy feels and what it really does for each and every one of us. Each one of us has these gifts. And if you nurture these gifts properly, they're going to balance you up with nature and other people. And you're just going to know things, which all of us have those gifts. Our intuition tells us, yeah, when your intuition is talking to you and you just know what you know. Well, that's one of those frequency gifts that Creator has given you. But if you really understand where it comes from and everything, you can build that into a protective armor that you carry around with you, and also a healing, and a teaching for other people, because you'll be able to feel that energy on other people and know exactly what they need at the time when you're talking to them. So I hope each and every one of y'all will watch that video. And if you have time, watch some of the videos that Dolores Cannon puts out, because she has some really good videos out there that can help you understand things. I don't know where to start, Rodney, because I had planned this other lesson. So I'm trying to let the spirit come in and give me some insight on what we should talk about. Does anybody in the class have something that happened to them that needs to be addressed, energy wise, that they didn't have understanding of why it happened to them? And if you didn't, that's okay too. But if you did,
I talked to somebody today via social media who found them, they didn't feel emotionally stable. So it wasn't myself, but and I asked, like, do you feel safe? And sometimes it's good to be by yourself. Sometimes it's good to be around people. Sometimes it's good to be around animals. And I asked her if she felt safe. I didn't know how much she'd listen to my message and take it to heart. And she got back to me and said thank you, and that she checked herself in the hospital just to take some R&R for herself and to just be able to rest.
See, that's good.
Maybe more on that for people, so they know when and how, if they're ever in that place.
Yes, and see, because of the way the world is going right now, there is a lot of people that are in their emotional self so hard that they can't get out of it. And the depression is going to take a lot of people out. So when you come across a person that is having a bad day like that, and they feel alone and stuff, the biggest way to reach them is to help them to understand they're not alone, and that you can't change what is going on with them, but you can walk with them through it. And actually, when you tell that person that, it gives that person hope. And that's the biggest thing that they're lacking at the time, is hope. They have to have something to, look forward to that's going to change the situation. I don't know if y'all, a lot of us don't watch the news and everything, but I happened to have news on the other day. And right here in Nashville, there was a lady on a bridge that was going to jump off the bridge. And lo and behold, now you tell me if this isn't spirit working, because guess who was on the bridge doing it? It's a bridge that you walk across, no, there's no driving or anything. But guess who was on the bridge doing fixing to do a photo shoot?
John Bon Jovi.
Yes. Now tell me if that isn't a creator interacting. And how would you feel if you were trying to commit suicide and John Bon Jovi or anybody like that walks up to you and say, "Hey, can I help you? You're not alone in this." That was God working through all of that. And we're going to see a lot of those miracles happening here in the next year or so, because people are distressed about situations, and we have to let them know that they're not alone in it, that there is somebody there that will listen to them. We might not be able to change the situation, but they don't have to go through it by themselves. And that is a gift. That's one of the energy gifts that you're going to find each one of us has it. And our little group, our little tribe that we have built here, is already doing it in a lot of ways. Because when one of us is down and out, what do the other ones do? We rush in and pick them up, energy wise, and let them know, hey, we're here for you. What can we do for you? And it feels great to know that you're not by yourself, because a lot of us have walked this road alone for a long time, and we need a family unit, and we're becoming a family unit. And we can grow this what we are making right now can turn into something very beautiful with lots and lots of people, if we nurture it right.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of guidance, and we had to be all on the same page of learning of what we want spiritually, to walk in balance, because there is a pattern and a cycle that you have to walk on, you know. Um, Another thing is it's very important to get balanced with the energies of nature. Now, one of the biggest things to do for that is start by watching when it becomes a full moon. Watch the moon cycles. And if you want to start on a full moon, start on a full moon. Read about it, find out what the full moon is about, and then do your ceremony for that. And I think the full moon is releasing, everything coming into fruition and fulfillment. And so that chapter, whatever you ask for in your thoughts and stuff, is coming to an end in that cycle pattern. So it would be a time to start smudging your house, doing a ceremonial bath to clean your auric field. And so you can get on that energy and continue doing it. It will become a habit. And every month you'll be cleaning your house like that. It won't be where you sit back and go, God, when was the last time that I smudged my house? And find out it was 6 months since you smudged your house. Well, everything becomes a pattern, and you got to get in that cycle pattern so that the energies follow you, that you're entwined with the energy, because you're entwining the energy of life with you.
Mm-hmm.
And it will bring you into balance. That's part of getting into balance. But a lot of people don't realize that, and they always ask, well, how can I get into balance with nature? It's very simple to get in balance with nature, because nature never comes unbalanced. It has its pattern on how to stay in the flow of creator's energy. Okay, so you can just go out, and sit on the earth. Thank the earth for being there. Thank the earth for sharing your energy. The same thing you would do with a tree. Hug the tree. Thank the tree for sharing its energy with us and producing oxygen for us. You know, let each and every part of what's outside become a part of you and understand how it works for you. Have that gratitude. Um, when all the elements, build you a fire, sit out there, you know, talk to the fire, become in tune with the fire. That is such a beautiful experience. And the fire will talk to you. You will see warriors, you will see angels, you'll see all kinds of stuff coming out of that fire. And it's amazing because it tells a story when it does that. It's telling you a story, and you'll eventually be able to read the story. I used to, as a child, talk to the cloud people all the time. And that's another thing. Lay on a blanket, look up in the sky, watch the clouds, ask them to tell you a story. Because guess what? They will start making pictures in the sky for you and tell you a story. And become in tune. When you become in tune like that, it's amazing. Water, all the earthly elements are with that balance. So if you're not feeling real good, go sit by some water. And while you're sitting by the water, release all that stuff you don't want to hold anymore and give it to the water. Let it flow past you. Say, take all of this stuff and flow past me. Thank you for being here. And guess what? You will feel that stuff come right off of you. And that can happen in the shower too when you're cleaning your auric field. Talk to the water. Thank it for being there to help clean your energy. Because without it, your energy would be all clogged up and mud. Mud would be all over you. The mud that we can't see because it gets there. And it does get all clogged up. Energy is an amazing thing. Yes.
Reminded me, I was on the mountain with Christine Jack in ceremony with 25 other women. I was the only man. It was quite an honor. And they would say things, and they were bringing me to tears, like good tears. And I remember going to wipe those away, and they said, "Don't you dare wipe those tears away. You give those tears to Mother Earth."
Yes.
It was quite profound. I think we're going through a quickening, and
we are.
I don't know that everybody physically can adjust.
Right. Some of us won't make it.
Yeah, I've been prompted to help prepare people that might not make it. So I think it's time that we all step into the gifts that we know that we have, the reason we know that we're here for, and stop worrying about our own selves and realize the shape of the world. And we're here as this group to support each other, strengthen each other, and be that beacon in this dark world. And Shahawin's the brightest light of us all.
Mm-hmm.
It's really funny y'all say that because y'all might see my light. Now, and I want y'all to think about this because this is a good example. Do you ever look at your light and see how bright it's shining? I don't. I can't see my light. But other people see it. And when they tell me, I go, I don't see that. But you know what that tells me? And this is part of the journey that I'm on of learning too, is somewhere amidst it is I'm not balanced just right, or I would know that about myself enough to know that I am shining so bright and when to turn it down and when to let it just blare and blind somebody. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's a technique in all of it. And it's also about your self-esteem. You can be anything you want to be, but a lot of stuff that happens around us tears our self-esteem down. It is time to stop letting things like that tear your self-esteem down and stand in your power and say, yes, I am. That is me. But it's a lot harder. Look, it's a lot harder to say and do because we have been taught not. It's kind of like a selfish thing for me. I was told never to be selfish. So when I do stuff like that, it brings back that lesson, of not trying to be selfish, but it has nothing to do with being selfish. It has to do with you seeing your unique spiritual self, and that is you, you know. So you got to get all these other ideals that were embedded in us at a young age. You have to really look at it and get rid of those ideals, because those are the blockages that keep you from moving forward and processing into what Creator wants you to truly be, your original self. Once you get there, you're going to realize nobody can take that away from you. Nobody. The only person that takes it away from you is yourself. So it's a lot of reflection that you have to do for yourself. And sometimes looking at yourself, you don't want to see those ugly parts, or the parts that that really need fixing at the time, because that energy is knotted up and it's painful to unknot.
Mhm.
But you have to understand that the pain of that knot is what's going to bring you to freedom, because the energy flows without um, contrast. It's like a water faucet flowing. But if through our emotional self, which I've taught you in past lessons, that's a language coming through to us. If we have took that language and held on to the emotional part of it and knotted it up in us instead of letting it run through us like somebody talking to us, that's where the pain comes from. And it's very painful, because you have to look at what made you hold on to that emotion. Why didn't you want it to run freely through you and wash off of you? Most of it, when it comes down to it, it will fall back to your self-esteem and how you look at yourself, you know, and you doubt yourself. You don't think you're good enough, and that really stems to a lot of the knotting and stuff that we have to undo, the karmatic knots, if you want to call them that. And we're all learning this. It's okay to let go, you guys. We're not perfect. Each one of us has done things that we probably look back and go, boy, I wish I'd have made a different decision at the time. But look, you have to make that decision to learn the lesson. If it was just freely, if everything was just easy to come by, what would you ever learn? I want you to really think about that. What would you learn if life was just really easy?
Mhm.
You know, the biggest thing is learning how to communicate, the communication of it with whoever's involved in the energy pattern with you, and coming to a compromise or a decision that doesn't hurt either one of the persons involved, or however many's in the, like if it was our group having a discussion, you would come to a compromise that each person could handle within themselves and be okay with it, to move through the process so it doesn't hurt as bad.
Mhm.
So you know that saying where it says walk very softly upon Mother Earth? That's where that saying comes from. Because you have to walk very softly through those emotional entanglements or attachments, whatever you want to call them, to get through back to the freedom of your true authentic self. And let me tell you, it doesn't happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight that you got where you're at. It took seasons. It took patterns and cycles. And so that's the onion, and it comes with layers. And you will peel those layers off one by one, and you'll think, "Oh, I'm done with it." And 6 or 7 months or a year down the road, it flies back up in your face and you go, "Well, I thought I already took care of that." No, you only took care of a layer of it, you know. But when you do come to it, instead of beating yourself up and saying, "Oh, I got to go through this again and I got to do this," Be grateful that you're aware that that is taking place, because it's showing your growth. And you can realize that, hey, I'm at another layer that I have to clear, but I am healing from this. That's a great thing to understand. That is the healing, and you're not doing something wrong is why it's coming back and up and hitting you in the face. That is the inner entanglement, of life. That's why the energy flows, and whether if we don't flow with the energy and we have to stop, then the entanglement creates the attachment, and then you get all balled up in the energy, if that makes any sense. And so depending on how much energy you have knotted up there, that's how many layers of stuff that you're going to have to peel back to get to the one little spot of energy that you stop at that period of time in your life, and that's going to be the root. And when you can get to that, you can pull the root out, and you can seal it with knowledge, awareness, love that it happened, you know. And once you do that, it will never come back and bother you anymore, because you have solved what created it to begin with. And most of this starts as a child. The way we were brought up, the way our parents taught us, the little ideals, even the cartoons put in our head, due to our feelings that we couldn't discuss with our parents. And we grew with that as this is how it is. And you're going to find out that it kept you from being your authentic self, and took a part of your self-esteem and said you weren't good enough to be like that. So you have to be like this. That's what Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer did to me. A lot of people, let me tell you this story. I have lots of stories. So my favorite cartoon as a youngin was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and the Misfits. Okay, so as going into school and stuff, I actually like consider myself a misfit. And look, I was probably 7 years old. No, 7 years old thinking this. Yes, there is a place for me, but I'm a misfit. you know. So during school and stuff, what did I do? I gathered up all the misfit people. Those were my people, and I realized, look, I was 40 when I realized how potent in that little cartoon, what it had done to my brain. Okay, because I was telling myself for 40 years, you're not good enough, you're a misfit. you know, uh, you have to cover up what anything about you, because people are going to make fun of it. You're not going to fit in, you're not going to belong. And that's what Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer did to my self-esteem. And I believed it. So I had to go back after 40 years. Okay, 40 years. That was a big onion with many layers that I had to unlayer to get to the root of it. But the root of it was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Okay. And once I got to that and realized, oh, I pulled that right on out. And, it doesn't bother me anymore, but I can use it as an example in a story, you know. Uh, but what has happened during that time is when I found that out, after that, I've had to rebuild, and it takes time. Like I said, everything takes time, is nurturing my self-esteem, because it comes up in a lot of things. You're not good enough. People ain't gonna like you. Yeah. Um, and when that comes up, I have to reinforce what I put in place of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer within my thought process, if that makes any sense. And all of us have stories like that. So when you're reflecting, it could be your dad, something your dad told you. Okay. Another little story that I'll share, which is a good example, is my mom was a mother back in the 60s now with 6 children, and she wasn't married. She was divorced, raising 6 kids in the 60s. Now, if you think about how people thought about that, you being a single parent. And we didn't have a lot of money, but one of her things was to take us, she couldn't take us, to do a lot of things. So she would take us to I guess, the little malls, and she would walk us through the mall, and we could look through the windows of everything, but we couldn't touch nothing. And I remember that as a child. But I also remembered, and this got embedded in me, you can't have that. We can't afford it. You can look at it, but you can't have it. You can't touch it. And guess what? That was instilled in me for a long time,
Mhm.
you know, that you can't have it. You can just look at it. And it did some damage to me, actually, that I have had to repair over the years. And I mean, I know where the root is, and I pulled the root out, but I am still fulfilling that energy that it created within me into new energy, if that makes any sense. Okay. So when you're reflecting on yourself and you're looking for the root so you can pull it out and change, that's how far you have to go back into your thought processes. And you will find out it could be, like I said, it could be your parents. And you're going to have to also, because through your journey you're going to learn it's not good to get angry, but that anger is going to come up in you. Look what my mama did to me. Look what my daddy did to me. Look what this cartoon did to me. You know, and it's going to bring up those anger issues and all of that. And you're going to have to change that energy pattern into something more positive to break that cycle, to break it, to root it out. And it does take time, but you can. And when you do that, it's gonna be such a great healing for you. But again, like I said, it's time to wake up, y'all, and recognize what type of energy are you putting out. Because let's say you put that energy out, it travels in a circle back to you. And this is really true. It will travel back to you. Your words travel back to you. Your movement, it's a cycle pattern. So, are you putting out bad energy or are you putting out good energy? If you put out anger, that anger is going to come back and hit you in the face somewhere else, but it's going to come back because you put it out there. So, that's another part of walking quietly, steady on Mother Earth, because it is like a prayer walking. You're praying that you can walk in a graceful way that does not cause harm to yourself or anything else. And when you start having that in your everyday thought, you're going to be very surprised how your life changes. And once you start doing it, it becomes a habit pretty quickly. They say it only takes 30 days to break a habit. So if you really want to break something off of you, mark off a 30-day calendar and get into ceremony with yourself for 30 days. And then reflect on it and say, did you break it? If you didn't break it, then that's another 30 days you need to go back into yourself to break it. But it will break off of you. And during that time, you will change your energy and you will feel that energy, because it's about learning how to feel the energy around you. Is it a good energy? Is it an energy that is causing you anxiety? Is it an energy that is ruffling your feathers to the point where you get mad? I mean, the easiest thing, this is a good example of that. You know, when you get really hungry and if you don't eat when you're that hungry, how like you start getting really angry, grumpy. It starts off getting you're grumpy, but then the longer you wait, the more angry you get because you're hungry. That's how it works. Yeah. And then you realize you done spouted off to somebody, said something you don't like, that hurt their feelings. And it was all because what? Of an emotion that you were feeling because you were hungry, which is a language. So why did you hold on to that hunger pain? I'm hungry. You know, so the easiest way to do it is to address that emotion when you feel it, realize what type of energy it is. If it's not the proper energy, try to change it into a lighter energy pattern so that you can smooth the waves. Because it's like you're in the ocean and the waves are hitting you. They can be, like I said, tsunami waves, hurricane waves, or they could be just little tiny ripples. But you have the choice, really, of how that comes and hits you because it's how you react to it. That's how much power. That is our power. So take your power back. That's when you become the warrior. The warrior is your true self, not allowing other energy patterns that do not associate with you to take control of you and put you in that invisible jail cell. And I know that now y'all gonna have a lot to think about, right?
I think with me, Shahawin, is there's always the two wolves are always there.
Oh yes.
We can't get rid of, like, my car is not running properly, but I'm still taking it to work, and I'll find myself with my brow furrowed, and then the good wolf is like, you just drove by a palm tree. You're living in Phoenix. It's sunny out, and the smile comes back.
Mhm.
We're always or it could be the ego too, right? It's like, well, things should be this way. It's like, no, it's okay. Whatever way they are, just let it flow over us and stop letting, grabbing a hold of things to get peed off about, and just be grateful and recognize the beauty in every situation. Even, oh, I'm late. Well, they say that if you're late, wait another 5 minutes because the universe is protecting you from something, maybe an accident or something. So everything is just, you look at a rose, don't look at the thorns, look at the beauty. See the beauty in everything. And even the difficult times, like I taught about gratitude, even the difficult times are for a reason. They help us to grow those roots. And I think, again, is we're in a time of transition in this planet and awakening, and we're really needed. We're really needed. I know I'm being used at work. I'm impacting people. I'm having deep conversations, and it just use me, creator, whatever way is best.
Yes. So I think that's wonderful that you use the two wolves because we have the ego and we have our spirit inside of us. So so now since we have went through all the lessons where you can recognize ego and your spirit, let's go a little bit further with that. Okay? We're learning how to heal ourselves, right? And we're learning how to have a relationship, a loving relationship with ourselves. Okay. Like you and Sherry are a couple, so is your shadow and spirit a couple. I want you to really think about what I'm saying. So, why are you hurting your shadow? And why is shadow hurting you? Y'all are a couple. There's no way to get around it. But you have to come to a compromise and love your shadow just as much as you love your spirit. And what happens is it entwines into unity, into one love, and your shadow becomes your warrior spirit that protects you. But until you can have that union with yourself, that relationship, we're all going to be working on what we're working on right now, because that's the big point, is learning to truly love yourself. And if you think about it, it's all like, I tell you, sacred geometry is all up in this, because if you take your shadow and your spirit, that's two energies, right? And then you come, that's on the inside, right? And you go on the outside, you have those two energies, you and Sherry. But you put those together, okay, and let's say that Sherry is balanced within herself, you're balanced. That's four energies, in a unit that are whole. And then you and her on the outside, energies are whole. That's another four. Put it together, you have created a molecule. I want you to really think about that, because this is how the universe grows and creates. And energy is infinite, it never stops. It grows and grows and grows. And that is where we are trying to achieve the unity of wholeness within ourselves. So you have to have a loving relationship with your shadow. You have to recognize your shadow not as your enemy, but as your friend and lover, and bring it together so that you can work together to bring in unconditional love to everything. And what do you think about that?
Wow.
It gives you a lot to think about, don't it?
It sure does.
So nobody's saying nothing. You're being very, very quiet. Did I
It's
put
yin
you
and
in deep thought?
yang. It's yin and
I
yang.
yes, put you in deep thought there, didn't I?
Yeah.
But that's where we're all gearing towards, And so if you have a conflict with your shadow on the inside, you're going to have a conflict on the outside until you fix the conflict on the inside. Uh, so that's what we're all achieving when we're tearing down these layers that has gooped us up all these years, so that we can come to our true self and understand how our true self is supposed to work. And actually, I'm gonna stop the lesson right there, because that's some deep stuff. I probably, your mind's probably going 90 miles an hour right now with all just this little short information that I've put out to you. So it needs time to, I don't want to explode your mind, because sometimes I'm pretty sure I do that sometimes, and it takes a couple of hours to digest everything I say. But I don't want to overwhelm y'all, with stuff. Um, so we're going to slow the energy down a little bit, come back into the balance of things, and know that each and every one of you should be very proud of where you're at, you know, and understand you are moving forward. Sometimes we feel like we're not going anywhere and that we're stuck. But remember, what you think is what you are. Okay? So if you feel like you're stuck, yeah, you're going to be stuck, because you created it. Energy is a creation of bring about what you want. And that's the greatest gift that God gave us.
Mm-hmm.
If we can get out of our own way, you know, because we want stuff. We want stuff, like we want people to love us. We want people to see our side. We want people, it's not about none of that, really. It's about the flow of your true, authentic self, and understanding that there's nothing perfect in this world. The only way you can be perfect is not to stop the energy. So get on your board, and let's go for a ride. Let's ride on top of the waves instead of be plundered by the waves.
Did you
I
say
think
board or broom?
no. Well, we could use a broom if you wanted to. uh, it works the same way. Be that tree, rise up above the water. Surf it instead of letting it cause you to drown, because you have the
Mm.
power. That's your power Take your power back and understand how much power you truly have. And I don't even like to call it power, because that's more like a controlling word. Um, but come back to your true self and know that you're amazing and incredible, and these are the gifts that God gave you. And you
Mhm.
can pass anything. You just got to know that you can surpass it. Yes, Rodney.
Nope, I didn't have anything. I just cleared my throat.
Okay. So I'm gonna leave it at that, because I think that, like I said, I think I gave you a lot of information. So does anybody have any questions? We'll go into questions, and because I'm sure some of y'all might have some. I
I
see.
don't have a question. I don't have a question, but I would like to share a quick little song. It's a little chant that I've been hearing on Facebook from a yoga lady, and it just has been running through me all night long, all day long, day after day for probably a week. Okay, and
Okay.
if you don't mind, I'll sing it real quick. It's not very long, but it goes. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I'll sing one more time. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me.
I
It,
think that's beautiful. Hey, let's have each one of us. Let's sing that with her one or two times. You want to,
yeah, sure.
as a unit? I think that would be wonderful.
Yeah, because I release control.
Okay. Look, this is how I do it. We'll let
and-
Pam. We'll let Pam say the verse first, and then we'll come after that with the same verse, and then she can continue like that. Okay.
Okay, it's a I release control.
Okay. You're gonna sing that part first, and give us enough time to sing it behind you.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, okay. I release control
I
I
release control
and surrender to the flow
and surrender
surrender
to
to
the
the
of love
of
love
that will heal me.
that
that
will
will
heal
me.
Yeah.
That was
And
very pretty.
can't sing.
this is
Well, I
a
can't
wonderful,
Pretty
what a
cool.
wonderful message because because it just says that if I let go of control and surrender to the flow and let it flow through me, like Shahawin's let that emotions flow over me and flow through me, and I run and allow that flow of love to come in, that will heal me.
Yes, that's beautiful. And Rodney, if you
Mhm.
can you write that down and send it with your, or put it in a link to that.
Yeah, I'll find that and send it to you. I know I've been sharing it on Facebook, so I'll find the link and put it on put it in the self-love chat. How about that? Of self-love Facebook.
Yeah, but I think also, Rodney, if you can link it with this video for others who see this video later down the road, they'll have it.
Can you find
Okay,
that video, Pam, and share it with me in social media, and then I'll attach it to
I
the.
sure can. I will. Yes,
All right,
it's
that's awesome.
wonderful.
That is. Does any of y'all have any questions that y'all want to talk about? Oh, Elizabeth, okay, got you. You up next.
Well, I want to talk about a different kind of energy that I've been experiencing lately. And that's energy that's coming into me from somewhere else.
Gotcha.
From
Yeah, we need to
creator,
talk about that, please.
from spirit guides, from I don't know where exactly, but I talked to Shahawin about it a couple weeks ago. But it's still happening. So what happens is I'm doing something just normal. I feel fine for the day. I have no problems, whatever. And then all of a sudden I get lightheaded, dizzy, the room starts spinning, and I have to go sit down and kind of go, oh, what's happening? I don't feel very good right now. And then that lasts a little while, and I feel it in my head, it's like this energy going. And then I got sick to my stomach. And then it was like violently sick to my stomach. And then after that, I still felt kind of lightheaded, but then I felt better a little bit later, and it just hits out of the blue. Like, am I purging something, or is something coming in and helping me purge something? And I don't get sick every time, but I feel the energy coming in, and I feel elevated. Like I kind of feel like I'm going up here somewhere when that happens. And I felt that feeling in my head before. I call it a heady feeling. Like when I feel the grandmothers speaking, or the trees speaking, or something coming in, I feel that in my head. But I've never had this deal where I get sick and then I'm better. And then nothing else is wrong with me. I don't have a cold. I'm not sick.
Yeah.
I'd like to get your opinion on that.
Okay, my opinion is we do have a lot of energy coming in. In fact, the past couple of days I've gotten, I've been sick, so I don't want to be sick anymore. So, but the past couple of days I've had major headaches, and to the point where it's making me sick at my stomach, the headache. But I also found out that we past couple of days had some major solar flares coming through our energy pattern of the earth. Now, this disruption of stuff like that from the energy patterns can cause us to feel that energy coming into our head, because it goes through everything, because we're like little lightning rods, to Mother Earth to ground that energy. So as it's coming through your body, now I'm not for sure about this, but for me, I feel like when it comes through my body, the places that cause me the biggest problems is because my vibration isn't in tune to that vibration, and either it's hitting some of the layers of stuff that I need to clear. But this is something that only you would be able to ask yourself, is this something I need to clear, or is this something that I need to receive from the universe? Because
maybe both.
yes, because your body's going to tell you. And as you know that it's an energy coming in, this energy is not going to harm you because it's coming in from the universe, rather than somebody sending you energy to attack you. There's a big
right. No, I get that for sure.
Okay. But this is part of the transition that we're going through, because we're coming out of the 3D into 5D, which is, now you have to think about, that's 2 octaves in a music scale, or even more, that we're rising up in frequency to. And our body has to adjust to it. Because if we got slammed with all that energy at one time, we'd probably die. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's coming in like it is, and we're kind of adjusting to the flow of it every time it hits us, into the point where our body will be able to carry that vibration or attune to that vibration.
I keep thinking I should know something from that. I should have learned something from that. Like I feel like it's telling me something.
Well, what you're doing is attuning to your higher self. Okay. Not all of us have been actually completely open to our higher selves yet. That's part of the moving into the 5D dimension. So it's your higher self already knows the answer, where your physical self doesn't. And it feels like you're right there and in a split moment you can reach it, but it seemed like it's so far away at the same time. That's just the energy flow until the breakthrough comes. And the breakthrough isn't about what you think or having a thought. It is how you and when you can hold that vibration.
How you can what?
Hold the vibration, the new vibration.
The new vibration.
And once you can hold that new vibration, that doorway is going to open. See, the doorway is the heaviness that you feel when it hits your head, because it's not open completely. Because if it was open, it would burn you out if you couldn't hold the vibration. It'd be like, like I told you, I felt like I was just going to poof off the face of the earth. Yes. If your doorway is open and it comes in and you're not ready to hold that vibration, you're going to poof off the face of the earth. Sorry. So it's about holding and rising up to the new vibrations that are coming in.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spirit is giving me a little bit of insight. There's a thing called the shamanic resonance.
Yeah.
The planet Earth vibrates at a certain frequency. And whenever we get solar activity, that frequency increases. Now, there's only two things that vibrate at that frequency, the planet and the human body. So I think it's the out of alignment. So to go ground, go walk barefoot, and bring yourself into the alignment, the same frequency as the planet, and then I think it's not going to be as difficult to adjust to. Because that's what's happening is the planet is speeding up because of this activity, and we're sort of left behind, and yet we should be in sync. So we need to get in sync, like go ground, however, even a water smudge in the shower or something, anything, just bring you back into that same vibrational frequency as Mother Earth.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
That's
Or you
good.
can take a glass of water, put your hand over it, pray over it, bless the water, and then drink it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That was good. That was good, y'all. Anybody else? If we don't have any more questions, we will close out with Rodney saying the prayer and have another week for class. Okay, Sherry.
I just want to say that I'm happy to be a part of your band of misfits.
Oh, you're so funny. Well, we're going to have to give ourselves a better name than misfits. We are not misfits.
As long as our noses don't all start glowing, I think we're okay.
Yeah, but look, because we do bring the light, I was fixing to say we might have big old red noses that glow. Who knows? We really don't know what we look like in the spirit world, so wouldn't that be funny if we were the ones that were carrying the red scepter of light and it glows?
I can see it as a bunch of fireflies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How funny. That is very funny. I love each and every one of you. And it has been wonderful having this class. Rodney, would you like to close out with the prayer?
Absolutely. We'll see everyone next Sunday. Father Sky, Mother Earth, all our ancestors, all our relatives, we call to you at this time and we thank you. We thank you so very much for this time we were able to spend in deep contemplation of your spirit and our purpose and the development you want us to each have in our own spiritual walk, our way of looking at each other, our way of believing in ourselves and recognizing our potential and stepping into our divine birthright as your divine children. We love you. We honor you. We respect you. We ask that you watch over us this week, protect each of us, and help us to walk in a way that is pleasing in your sight. We love, honor, and respect you. Peace. Amen.
Yes. Peace.
We'll see you next week, y'all. Love you much.
Love you
Love
much.
you.
Much.
Bye.
Much.